Hello and welcome to day 4 of our challenge. Today you might need some yoga blocks, but if you don't have any, that's fine. You can make sure that you're near a wall maybe if you want to go onto that, but you can also just place your hands down on the ground and we'll come into our first pose. Okay, so our first yoga pose today, let's start that again. Okay, so our first yoga pose today is actually a low lunge, so a little bit more active than what we have been doing. If you have blocks, I'll show you how to do it with that, but you can also do this without. So from all fours, we're going to place the right foot up in between the blocks or your hands. Shuffle your foot forward so that your knee is above your ankle and sink those hips down. So just as an example here, if you've brought your leg up and you're sinking your hips and your knee has come way over your toes, shuffle that foot a little bit further forward. Now you can grab your blocks to place either side of your foot. We're going to lengthen up through the spine, so try not to round down too much here. Sink your hips down, lift the chest, okay? Open the chest up and look forward. Now if you're not using blocks, that's fine. You can place your fingers on the ground. You can also place your hand on a wall, one hand on your knee or both hands on your knee. Okay, we just want a little bit more support, which is why sometimes it's nicer to have both hands down on the ground. So take your variation and we're going to hold here for a few breaths. Now, as I said, this pose is a little bit more active than what we have been doing. So really listen to your body, come out if you need to come out, sink deeper if you need to sink deeper. Just really focus on your breath and relaxing the muscles wherever you're feeling this. Remember, after a few breaths, see if maybe you can get a little bit deeper. And then very slowly, we're going to move the hips backwards. Bring that right knee back to meet the left. Hands flat on the ground. Maybe just wiggle the hips side to side, maybe round in a circle. Just to kind of shake that out a little. And let's move on to the other side. So left foot's going to step up. Again, shuffle that front foot forward so that your knee is over your ankle. Maybe you grab your yoga blocks here to sink in. Maybe you just have your hands on the ground. Maybe one hand on the wall. Pick your variation. And let's take a couple of breaths here. Remember not to let your mind wander off. So keep bringing your attention back to your breath and back to your body. It's not as easy as it sounds. Okay, again, bring those hips a little bit further back. Bring your left knee back, hands plant down, and give those hips a little bit of a wiggle. Maybe coming forward and backwards, maybe side to side. And we'll come into our next pose, which again, we could use the blocks, but you also don't have to. Let's place the right foot towards the outside of the right hand, and then we're going to shuffle it further forward. Again, sinking down, bringing that knee above that ankle. Now what will happen here is your leg is going slightly out at an angle, so your foot should be as well. I'll just turn to the camera so you can see exactly what I mean. In our low lunge, it's right in the center. In our lizard pose, it's out towards the side, okay? Toes are pointing the same direction as your knee. And then from here, again, like with our low lunge, we're gonna sink our hips down, this time opening up the hips a little. So you can grab those yoga blocks or any other prop that you have around to bring your chest up a little higher. You can plant your fingers flat on the ground. You could use your yoga blocks here to place your elbows to come a little bit lower if you're a little bit more flexible. Just try not to get too much rounding through the spine. And again, if you are a little bit more flexible, you can also bring your elbows down to the ground. So take whichever variation you'd like to take here, and let's hold it for a few breaths. Remember, we're finding that comfort within the discomfort, okay? So feel that stretch, breathe into it, relax as much as possible. Loosen the shoulders away from the ears. And every exhale, just imagine those hips can get closer towards the ground. And then slowly move those hips further back again. Bring that right knee back again. Have a little wiggle back and forward. Maybe even coming back to a child's pose and then into like a cobra, dropping your hips down. And then let's move on to the other side. Bringing the left foot to the outside of the left hand, sinking those hips down low. Again, take whichever variation you took on the other side. See how that feels and adjust from there. So if you had the blocks, come onto the blocks first. See how that feels. Maybe come down onto your hands. Maybe even come down onto your elbows, either on the block or on the mat. And again, let's take a few breaths here. And then slowly bring your hips back to all fours. Again, have a little shake, maybe back and forward, maybe side to side. Then we're gonna come over onto our bums. Legs are gonna come out in front, feet hips distance. Micro bend the knees, so just don't lock your knees out. Inhale, bring your hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Again here, variation. So you can grab hold of your legs, you can grab hold of the mat and pull yourself closer. You can grab hold of your toes. You can have a bolster in between your legs that you can fold over onto. Whatever position you take, just relax here for a couple of breaths. And then slowly walk yourself back up, bounce the knees out, and that's us done for today. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are enjoying this challenge, I would love it if you could share it on social media, maybe tag me on Instagram stories, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 5.